Hey Kookz! Welcome back to another Kooky Build episode. If we haven't met yet, I'm Danny Dukes from the van Kookz, and here on this channel we're trying to show you how two Kooks get after it and build out this Sprinter van, and we're trying to give you all the shortcuts and all the knowledge that we learn along the way from our friend Ethan Noto at N Studios. So when we get the knowledge, we pass it on to you, and we really appreciate it when you give us the knowledge back in the comments, so keep that up, guys. If you've been following along in this build, we've showed you how we learned how to weld, we showed you how we fabricated our own bed, we showed you how to make upper cabinets, we showed you all the things, insulation, batteries, everything. So check out those videos if you haven't seen it yet, and in this video we're going to show you how we build drawers. We feel like we're so close to the end now that we're building drawers. So we can see the finish line, and we're going to show you how we did it not only professionally, but in a replicatable way that you all can do.
We are at Auburn Hardwoods looking at some nice finished pieces for our drawers. This van is going to be looking really pro. So we got all our measurements. We did these in the parking lot to have these ready before you come. We're asking questions and we're getting ready.
What we have so far, we have these for the drawer sides. So it's like a pre-finished hardwood. I'm getting a new one.
We're getting our drawer bottom pieces. I'm getting a 1/4 inch for some of the lighter drawers, and for some of the more heavy duty ones we're going with the 1/2 inch base.
Today we are working on the drawers, and these are what we got for our sides. They're 8x5 sheets, and they're pre-finished Baltic birch, I believe. So these are way more professional than our last way of doing it. So we're going to show you how we measure with these. Ethan just ran us through how to measure them. So what we're going to do, watch, we'll come over here. To get the measurements of the drawers, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to install your sliders. And then you're going to get in here, and you're going to go like this, and you're going to go from drawer to drawer, and you can leave a 16th so it can have a little playroom. This is 32 3/4. So 32 3/4.
You jot it down.
You jot it down, and you get your measurement to the back, how far you want it to be. You jot that down, you make a little drawing, and your front is always going to be sandwiched by your sides, because your front is going to be covered by your cabinet front. So you won't see those edges of your side. So sides go long, sides sandwich the front. So now that you have the space between the drawer sliders, what you're going to do, since your front is sandwiched between your sides, what you're going to do is take two of your drawer pieces like this, and you're going to put them, these aren't real drawer pieces, but they're like the width of it. So what you're going to do is, that was 32 3/4. So you're going to get it here, and you're going to go 32 3/4 and put that at the bottom of your stack. And then what you're doing is you're subtracting. So it's going to be 31 3/4. So they're about a 1/2 inch each, so that makes sense. So that's going to be your measurement for your front. You're going to subtract the sides. So these are all of our drawers, and I write that these are the inside measurements. And the total measurements will include the inch and the inch on our sides. And so what you're going to do to keep that organized so that you don't have to keep going like, oh, we need that cut, and we need that cut, and we need that cut. What you're going to do is do the number of cuts. So we need 2 cuts of 6 inch at 31 3/16. So that's going to be two fronts and backs. And you're going to want to write if it's fronts and backs, because you're going to want your scratch stuff on your fronts and your backs, because you can hide that. On your sides, you can't hide it as much. You're just going to keep doing that for your fronts and backs so that you can just cut, 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 cut.
Danny's just getting all the last of the measurements. We got our cut list, and we got the table saw here, and we're about to chop all these drawers up. We got a few last night when we got our lesson. So here's all of our drawer sides, and then we're gonna slide the bottoms in through the back. You'll see
It's
here.
gonna be a 1/4 inch bottom, and then we also, for the really big drawers, we have a 1/2 inch bottom. So we're just gonna do 2 1/4 inches next to each other to make a 1/2 inch tray for it to sit in. So we've changed out the saw blade, and we've made sure, you always want to make sure it's square when you're using the table saw. So we made sure the blade is square after we changed it, and we've set our fence to our desired length that we want. And what we're going to do here is when we turn it on, we're going to want to push all of our force towards this corner right here. So when you're pushing it this way, you don't want it to be rocking like this. You want it to be very, like, no air right there. So we're always kind of pushing at that corner. Then your board won't want to kick out because it only has so much space that it needs to go through here. So if it turns a little, your board's gonna go flying. We got all of our drawers lined up right now. We got our dado in. So we are going to dado these, and it's gonna turn out like this. And we're Kookz, so I didn't know what a dado was until today. So you guys can do this. And what we're doing is we have a 1/2 inch board that's going inside here. So we had to cut a 1/4 with the dado and then add another 1/4 to it. So Kevin's about to run these through the dado. I put a little piece of tape on top so that he would know which one would be face up, because some of the fronts you can hide your scratches with your drawer front. So that's why we want to make sure that the scratch side is the one facing up. Over to your drawings. Like, we drew all these drawings here, and they have all of our measurements and they show you which one's the front. So these are our fronts. So what we do is we lay it out like this, and then we're gonna put glue on it. So we put our fronts together, and you only put glue on the fronts. So you're gonna put 3 sides together first, and then you're gonna slide in through your dado the wood. So let's get this square. And we have 1.5 inch nails to go through here, so don't mess up, it sucks when you mess up.
You gotta have your cut list. We use a highlighter after we cut everything. We got our drawings. You have to kind of have drawings so you can refer to them as you're building these drawers. Otherwise, it's very easy to mess up.
Very.
We've messed up 3 times already.
On this one drawer. But it's coming out good. So this hardwood is really, really nice, and it's already pre-finished and everything. It's our first time working with it. And we didn't entirely realize how scratchable it is when you're working with it on these tables. So you have to be really careful, clear everything off, maybe put some carpet down, or maybe we had cardboard, so we put this down to keep us from scratching this hardwood. And if you have scratches, Ethan showed us a trick, like most of your scratches, try and put them up at the front. So at your front piece, and you think you're gonna see it, but you're actually gonna put the face of your drawer on there, so you won't see it. And then with this, we put this in here just to make sure that our dado lines line up, because they weren't lining up because of the cardboard. It would be a little shifty. So we put this in here, nailed it, made sure it was flush on all sides. And then now what we're gonna do is actually we're gonna flip it up like this. And then what you'll do is you'll slide this in, and sometimes these things will want to bend out because they don't have another side. So if you can just keep your hand, or get a second hand to like help you, just keep them so they don't fold out. And then you just slide this down and get it inside that dado line. Nice. Perfect. And then what you do is you sandwich your last one in between the sides. It's pre-glued because we glued it at the beginning. If you build this wrong and you've taken your measurements to subtract this, we've done it before where we actually thought because of the sides go long, we thought that the short was the front. And so we went to slide this in and we had 1 inch on each side. that's when you know you did it wrong. And then you have to take it apart. We're using 1¼ inch nails. We're gonna put these in here. And what you're gonna wanna do with the nail gun, if you've never used a nail gun before, it's all right, we're Kookz too. What you're gonna wanna do is make sure that this is parallel with your drawer so that your nails don't poke out and go that way. You're gonna always wanna make sure that this is parallel. And if you have to hold it weird like this for it to be parallel, don't be scared to use your pinky and get in there. So what we're gonna do here is make sure all this is flush. And since you pre-glued everything, while you're nailing this, it's gonna squeeze all that glue out. So you're just gonna wanna run a little t-shirt through there so you get that glue. It's clear, but might as well just still get it. So once you got your drawers all together, what you're gonna wanna do is turn them upside down, and you're gonna wanna put a square on it because this thing will shift. And the cool part about if your cabinets aren't square, this is the point where you can figure out how to make your drawer unsquare so that it'll fit in there flushly. But ours are square, so we don't gotta worry about that. So what you're gonna do is wanna get these square like this. Get a long one of these. So you can make sure there's no air gaps on all of it. So this looks pretty square. Just gonna check one more. All right, so that looks pretty square. And what we're gonna do to keep it square forever is we're gonna use hot glue. So we're gonna put some hot glue beads like here, 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 here. Like you can do, it's kind of like welding. You can do little spot welds. Just as long as it keeps it on this stays here and doesn't move.
Danny got everything in, so under the bed we got some nice big drawers, and then we got one here. This is a really nice fan, guys, so if you're in the market, you don't want to miss out.
All right, guys, thanks for watching us finish all these drawers. They all went in perfect, and follow along next week if you want to see how we did the frames. We kind of had to skip ahead because we needed to make sure these drawers fit flushly. So watch out for that video. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up so other people can find it. And always make sure to comment and tell us what we did wrong, tell us what we did right. And we'll see you next time, guys. Make sure to subscribe so we can keep hanging out.